Memorial Day weekend turned out to be a wash, but I was able to get in a few rows while running errands with my husband. We even made time to check out this old-fashioned diner. How cute. And even though Monday was technically a holiday, it doesn't always mean it's a holiday for a small business owner. Honestly, though, I wasn't complaining one bit. I genuinely love what I do, and if the sun had decided to make an appearance that day, I probably would have rearranged my schedule. Anywho, today we are dyeing up pre-orders. Trying to film with one hand and dye yarn in the other is not the easiest. I may or may not have had a hole in my glove. I don't think you could tell though. So this batch has been cooking since yesterday. I just pulled half of it out to add the citric acid. And once that's done, I will put those back in and continue on with the cabinet. Steamy. So after cooking since yesterday, most of the dye has made its way into the yarn. But I need to add citric acid to make the remainder of it and all of this dye stay intact into the wool. And finally, the sun is out. It is now time for some sun tea and a walk in the garden. So we built this garden back in 2020 and it has seen better days. It needs a lot of repair. And I was just gonna not plant anything until it got repaired, but I have two very special little boys that enjoy coming in here for green beans. So I have two types of green beans I have to throw into the soil. That way they can get their little fix of green beans. I've been on a mission lately to clean up and reorganize the studio, and somewhere in the middle of the chaos, I uncovered this giant IKEA bag absolutely packed with minis. I also had a mountain of oaks left over from color development, so naturally I decided to completely torture myself and turn them into 20-gram mini skeins. It is definitely a process, but very satisfying in the end, so stay tuned because mini bundles will be hitting the shop soon. Somebody decided to remake the bed. That is not how I left it this morning. What do you have to say for yourself, huh? Look at that crystal clear water. The dye bath is fully exhausted, which means the yarn is officially done. Quite the opposite of my sun tea. Thursday was a special day. I drove up to Kingston, New York to spend the afternoon with my friend Mia from the Knit and Grace podcast. We grabbed lunch and stopped in this beautiful fabric store that honestly made me want to start sewing my own clothes immediately. Afterwards, we wandered down to Yarn Farm Kingston, where you can actually find Newburgh Yarn Co skeins out in the wild. It looked like most of the shelves had already been cleared out, which is both exciting and slightly surreal to see. But not for long, because I'll be heading back up on June 12th for a trunk show and bringing plenty more yarn with me. We just finished up a USPS run, and now we're heading back home to have some lunch and wash yarn. What do you think about that? By the end of the week, I finally had the studio in a more organized manner. All of the yarn is out on the shelves. I can see everything. I can move and walk around. Thank goodness. And that wraps up another week here. Thanks for watching another week in the life of a yarn dyer. See you next time.